Hello everybody, this is Kokorem, and we are back in Pathfinder Wrath and the Righteous, and we are in the tavern with our lovely crusaders. Last time we had gotten out of the barracks. Oh, yes, we also found out that Wanga was a bad lady. Bad. And we found out that the city had been overrun with demons. The Waystone is being corrupted, and we need to stop it from being corrupted. Oh, and also we got our butts kicked very hard and very ferociously. Alright. Let's continue with this one. I need to talk about the elf who calls him the storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? The storyteller? A strange old man, fellow, that one. He just sit with me for hours asking about all sorts of things. He never offered a judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first I wanted him to ask him questions. I wanted him and his questions far away from me as possible. But later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. Completely blind and feeble too. So if he's alone in the city, he's probably well, you know what that means. Oh dear. Okay, that's good. Blackwing Library. Okay. What do people say about... Oh, I do know one place that he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on your map. I know what use a library to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there for day and night. Maybe he's got embroidery? That would be good. Oh, okay. They say I'm a traitor, as bad as Arun Varlish. Hardly anyone accuses such a rage across crusade as the name of who's intimidated. Okay. So a bad guy that I'm disgraceful, even among the ranks of the command, that even Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. That I belong in the gallows. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know? I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in the fortress on the edge of the world wound instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in Wand, the mighty unsittable city of Dawson. Oh, foothold in the wound. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main capital. I was tired. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I could live and fight in order to undo what I've done. So that's how I live. Decade after decade fighting in the Carmend? The Carmend is a military unit. Okay. The Dwarf. As you can see, I have fixed nothing and I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. Okay, so we got some options. I hope you earned forgiveness. You keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better because that's what the Queen ordered you to do. There is on. You were given the choice to live, and so live and stop. Wow. No thank you, I don't want to spit in his face. There is honor in that. You might be right. But you know, even the stone of iron can get worn out over time. I know what. Wherever I prayed. The whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? If you don't trust the word of... Go ask it somebody else. Like my little brother, Joe. You really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joe, my little brother, he keeps me going. He never abandoned me. Everyone else spies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in Cardam console themselves by thinking, "Oh, I'm stripped of my rank, but I'm not a storm." Oh God! Commander Tire Blade seems to be the only person in the whole army who thinks that I'm a soldier and not a Juggard. Juggard? She has no qualms about taking into the battle, and she had some mud flung at her in the past, so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise she's the one who had a sense of reasons. Ah, how many years in Canada? Surely you've been paid for your presence by now. It's not me to be decided. It is my life in Queen's hands. The good isn't the worst part. In the years I prayed to turn forgiveness, and countless times I've gone to the priest and kneeled before this altar. If only Father would answer my prayers just once, not to resolve what I've lost, but just to tell me that I still am one of his children. But it seems it doesn't give a damn about me. Oh, you poor lad. We're gonna get you redemption, my dear friend. Right, okay, Crusader. Oh, hello. Greetings. Looks that you've been toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet. Oh, okay. Okay. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me already, do you? Why? I talk spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I help you fight demons, and I swear that you rely on me in the matter. That isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I have good teachers, though they don't get all the credit. I'm the most diligent student. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? My little trinket. It's nice. It's nice of you to notice. But I assume this is the amulet and nothing but a burial? Not beautiful and less useful things. No. Anyway, as much as I enjoyed, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please. Oh, okay. Laughs in her. Is you from a... You're the most insightful and fine quality to have. Still, I believe that being noble birth does not look down on others. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble beauty. Yeah. Well, I am a bard, so forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble beauty like beautiful lady. I will stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is... You don't belong in my party. Wow. No. She's really good. I have to go. Well. Alright then. Away! We got 2,000 gold! Here, take this! Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment and remember how Gus Grim always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface and I duty paid escorting me. Now speak of future compensation. And looks at you with an unvanished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest and foot. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like... Naturally, I'll pay you generously. So what do you mean by a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and lie down and drunk in a gutter? Or do you think you're somehow different? You're a traveler knight, perhaps, or noble, or without a coin to your name? I have quite a lot of coin now. You think you are a reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of the mongrel caves. So should I care about with what money you've got? Huh? Wait, what? What's this? Persuasion? Perception. Oh, perception. Okay, I thought that was a persuasion. I was like, what? One of those people who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear the notes of hysteria beneath his shrug arrogance. It's as though he's quite nervous, but taking great pains to count. A great noble doesn't give you the right to behave badly. I would ask that you refrain from statements in the future. Yeah. Oh, really? How impotent? How no one dares tell. So what does this job involve? You shall be my You see, I have no good reason to return to my mansion here in Crassus. I still have, well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden and wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief infested city had tried to get in, or one way or another. I shudder to imagine what state it is in now. I have a little hope that my guards were able to hold on the mansion during the attack, and I will expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons, and only Oh, this is the guy I follow. Only Adradar knows what happened since. I would ask that you meet me in the mansion and guard me until I'm complete with my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they said they desire no foot outside the tavern. Damn these cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Also, do take Camellia with you. I trust the girl is more than the rest of your gang. She is a noble birth after all. Wow. Wow. Okay, what kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold coins. Oh, then I'll think. Damn. Haha, yeah, right. For the money I hire for the queen. Alright, deal. Excellent. Most faces, reflexes, quite smooth lines. I'll proceed my mansion at once. For there, meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand, but do unless you want me to lower your reward. Okay, let's talk to the innkeeper. A figure towers over the bar. A huge, ungainly man with the skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible, even though from a distance his bald head is equal. Has he got a tail? Oh no, that's a mace. His bald head is equal to the part of lumpy, pitted, and blood-filled eyes. State impressively out. Jeez. Out at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass is Aldaro's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one of those coarse fingers would be enough to crush it. Gold medallion is... What'll it be? Okay, a medallion you're wearing is a sacred symbol, is it? Are you a cleric? Oh! I am a tavern keeper, best in the city. The best that I've been. I pray to the gods there is. Who are you? What? Aldero slowly takes a measure of his red eyes and finally with a glass eye says, Clara the vampire. You really a vampire? And says, no. Oh. How did anyone end up here? How did you or them, with a huge hand keeper, just as in the room. The world is big, but there isn't a place for everyone. Okay, any news of the city? There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. Yeah, that's true. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? Any normal places usually stay away from. There are plenty, like the... Okay, the wine cellar. It once bought a trading house, then the king invited a power. Okay, cool. I see you're not one for talking. Okay. No. Alright. We got enough potions, I think. Oh, okay, what's these? Whenever the wearer casts a cantrip or first level spell, that spell deals 1 additional die. Oh, wow. Wow. If the wearer of the ring has an ability to cast spells spontaneously, it grants them the ability to cast the following spells: Ray of Elements, Ray. Oh, wow, that's a very good ring. It's a very expensive ring. Oh, a small bag of holding. That would be good. I believe we can now... Can we just... Does it just increase our bag of holding space? Right, let's have a look. The gloves that grant the wearer 1 morale bonus and attack rolls. In addition, also grants 2... Oh, well, mounted. Interesting. Do we get mounted combat in this then? This grants a 5... Oh, that's nice. Grants 2 against swarms. Oh, we dinged. Okay, I'll have a look at that in a sec. The braces grant the wearer a 1 morale and damage against demons. Oh, that does sound nice. We are fighting loads of demons. Right, okay, let's level up first. We're level 3. So let's have a look. Persuasion, as we usually do. Magic devices. She's up to 8, so we be up to 9. think 10 is enough for now. Maybe a bit more into... We'll go into that one, mobility. Oh, we get another feat? Oh, what do we pick? With the decision, I've decided to go with you get a +2 bonus on all persuasion and perception. Or persuasion and perception skill checks. If you have 10 or more, gain 4. So I gain like a ton more persuasion and I get perception as well, which is going to be useful. Now we've got to pick out a spell. Oh, this is hard. Drowning features causing them to stop, stare blankly. Okay. A CC would be nice, I think. I think vanish might be even better now. Making myself vanish. Okay, there we go. That one's complete. Wow, that took a little bit of a while. So, I think I can sort everybody else out. Yeah, I'm going to sort everybody else out. And I'll go through it quickly when I've sorted everything out. Okay, so what I did is I added a couple of things. I think it's here. So I added... Oh, where can I see them? Okay, so I gave him more lore about the world. So he's up to 9. We got his perception up to 10, so he's going to be able to see things really good. The abilities we got, which are feats, is longbow proficiency. So he's going to be able to hit with that bow no matter what. Oh, here it is. So we went for... Oh, that's a key pool. That's something that's going to be introduced that we... Oh, he gets... Oh, cool. I think it's this, or is it this one? Okay, point blank. So basically, if anything goes up to him, he can still fire, which is his main ability. And that's what we're keeping him as. Lawful neutral. Okay. And then we've got our lovely... Okay, and with her, we gained this one. So, for now, it's weapon focus, and we've put it to rapier. So she gains a +1 on damage rolls. So she's just a powerfuler lady with a rapier now. And then we also did the same with longsword for our crusader, and also we got sickened, because I feel like diseases will be an issue. Because I think with the bard I can get rid of some stuff. And that is pretty much it. So we're going to talk to the other two. One of them is here. There they are. An athletic man greets you with his hair grey, swollen, drink. Greetings, I'm Heloror, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. Oh, okay. I'm a superior officer among the Pathfinders. Okay. In the region of Meddev, however, the society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm here because of an old feud with the demon worship known as Spinner of the Nightmares. Sorry, I've been full of spit. It's so annoying. I had to work alone without the support of society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances along the local mercenaries, and during fighters, if you need any good fighters on us cause, talk to me. I began with the task of Night Spirit Society. I arrived in With my team investigate the sudden but we soon forced into a small hospital, Wilfie Felton. Before his death, it turned out that the gang of Bell cultists calling themselves the Labyrinth Mind had gotten a foothold in the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless, and when they returned they were difficult, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into the servants of Baphomet, ready to lie and betray, even kill. The Labyrinth Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the articles in Medivh, but Baron stopped them. Okay. He was loyal to the oath and too resistant to their spells. He fought his own freedom until strain broke his heart. We opened the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a crumbled sin. They stories each other and their minds dormant, horrible, forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leader and the cult were all able to flee, and they were upon revenge. Okay. I want to know more about you. What are you interested in? I'm a common Pathfinder. There are more others like me think that. How did you end up here? Oh, dear me. There's a lot of reading. I was working on an assignment for the Pathfinder Society, and then a demon worship, the spinner of abducted my daughter Laurie for the past. Hold on. There's something. Okay, I was working on the I was trying to save her during the specialist in scouting team demon territory, even planted against them among cultists. Truth be told, in the pairing of spinner nightmares, I've been acting more on behalf of Queen Gelfrey and then the Pathfinder Society. It is a long story, maybe I'll tell you sometime. Tell me about your daughter. As a girl, Laurie was just an angel. We lost her mother early and she was left to follow my example. I differ from the little idea how to talk about to a 10-year-old, but even such a questionable partnering, Laurie managed to grow up into a wonderful girl. A brave, smart, beautiful, and especially and eventually unbearable. She always argued with me about everything. When Laurie was 18 and told me she was going to be a Pathfinder, I said was all right. I knew there was no use to try to talk her out of it, and she was a fine Pathfinder. Oh. I never forgive the Spinner's Nightmares for taking my girl from me. No, I don't need to. Yeah, we could have another space. I need a brave, experienced fight. My companions and I need good training. I get a great for the time, few times. He'll train your fighters for free of charge. Oh, this one definitely. Oh wait, I can retrain. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So can I just retrain my abilities if I made a mistake? Let's try it on myself. Oh my god, what? I can... Oh no, I don't... No! Am I back to normal? Okay, so, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Alright. Oh, so I could change these guys if I make a mistake, which is fantastic, and I'll probably do that, like, on a later note. For now, we're going to put this hat on her. What? There we go. That gives her plus health, so she'll be even more beefier. What's her health like? Okay, let's deal. Camilla. And yeah, she'll be just the first of the first of the first. And then
All I see is blackness.
so if I go to my thing, do I now see... Ah, there she is, and we can level her. Awesome beans. That would be terrible if we had to level her from 1. Okay. I'll be back shortly, I guess, from leveling our companion, and this shall be our crafter for potions. Yay! When an alchemist throws a bomb, it doesn't affect allies. Oh yeah, that's that's the one we're going for. Oh, there we go. Okay. Next. She's got a... But she can use a finesse weapon now. We'll find one eventually. She can use that for now.
We should prepare.
Hey there, during that march through the dungeon, we never got a chance to exchange a proper greeting. It is a high time I shake your hand. Oh, I can't shake her hand. That's a disappointment. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? A little bit from Geb. Geb? Cool. A little bit from Cadistrath, but mostly from the Knights of Immod. I was accepted and began my training at 14 and belong their ranks more than I belong in my own place. You've come to Mandev by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Looks at you cheerfully. A travel extended as stories. Unfortunately, I have only 3 tales of interest. I'd like to save them for the next feast. Otherwise, I won't have enough to show you myself this time and start bragging, and it just won't do, especially since I'll win the next night. Arcana. Okay, that's fascinating. Can't they drink their victim's blood during the battle and gain the strength from it? Oh, yes! And they do it very quickly. They bite one's victim, suck their blood, and then strike the next victim in lightning. But you've tricked me, and I've started telling a tale. I might as well do it properly. A picture a small town, corner, and down in the dungeon there's 2 murderers waiting to be executed. The gallows already built for them. The rope has been brought, but something life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly a paladin of Erin appears in the doorway, offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they live. If they survive, that is. There's a big difference to immediate death and probably with a glimmer of hope, wouldn't you say? So here we are traveling through the desert, and me and my friend, the priestess of Shemarin, along with the follower little rat folk fellow who asked for our help, the two cutthroats. We had rat folk people and saw their bodies lying around and drained dry. We figured we'd have to fight vampires. That's how the little rat folk are the monsters who attacked their village. That's why we want their brazen like. The sun was high and the vampires couldn't fight back until dusk. But we never got the chance to look around. The black shadows quickly wind attacked us from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. Oh, chupacabras! I think that is. One of them lads pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second ran for his life, then left me, the rat folk, and the crier, the name of the priestess, and we all sealed ourselves to the fight of our lives. And when we thought we'd end had come, with the chupacabras surrounding me like a pack of dogs around a bear, like a rat folk friend wounded and down, and the teeth quickly that those blasted monsters was clutched on her shoulder. Right then, as all hope was lost, the other lad, the gallows, has suddenly come back, running back. He kills the beast attacking, and I'm sure you know that the tuning point of the fight looks like. Well, this was it. A fight. A moment before we were losing. A moment later we would have been back under control. And chupacabras dropped dead one by one, and the little rat folk reunited with his family who were hiding in the basement. The priestess and I chose the eyes of that boy from the gallows who saved us, and it was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods... Oh, that's... Your survivor was a fool. As expected, more cheerful story than I... Now I'm sad. That's a good story. He could have died a disgrace in the gallows, but instead he died a hero. Fancy A stunt earned him some points in the final judgment. Smart, remember, our journey doesn't end in death. Had it not been for mercy of the Menlos, and that was his name, it would have been hanging from a noose, and me and Carla of all the rat folk would be dead in the village. Someone told me that the kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious, but the same token of evil done by a noble soul 100 times more horrifying. That's really wanted to say. Oh wow, that's really good. What made you become a paladin? That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions, but it's a long story to start with. 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I was. I roamed circle with homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I hired for sword. A not popular origin of paladin, is it? Well, back then, Cedric was trained at gallows, and regularly my parents were among their victims. People there heard about new deaths before they finished mourning their precious losses. One day, a group of knights of Imod brought a glimmer of hope into the city, but the others saw them as survivors and protectors. I was busy piercing up their noble house and their glimmering metal, and wondering just how one of these pretty swords would fetch. And a thief's life one day, that what they say, is never for the next job. Anyhow, I was to speak to a knight camp and steal one of their mithril helmets, and I was right there when the gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Atri was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll, like all the others she'd fearlessly driven from the gates. That one blow was fatal, but who really was to blame for her death? The gnoll attacking the young... Oh. I know what it takes to survive sometimes, I can't judge you. Even if it seemingly small misnomer can have terrible consequences. Yes, you're right, 1,000 times over. I hate to say it, but I didn't hear back then, and I had never got the lesson. My eyes would probably never have been opened. Who knows what would have happened if it was me if it wasn't for and her betrayal and her death. Oh, her bravery and her death. Maybe it would know that Sarah's bandit, not a knight protector in the end. They're saying, like I remember, people rarely someone showed them the way. But you were asking what brought me into the ranks. We all chose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some guided by nobility of spirit, some desired to fight injustice. I became who I am through the practice of debt unpaid. The day I died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt, but then I realised it wouldn't make the world any better. I would decide that instead I'd try to take her place and become... She's been... Oh, wow, she's fantastic. This girl. Sile? Great character. What are the pinnacles of the paladins follow? I'll tell you. I'd like to recite our code. It feels like I said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There's strength in these words. Okay. I learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is my sword and my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I have faith in Hirta. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine her legion, and I will not cherish the glory through base actions. I am first into battle and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender these under my command. I will never abandon companion, though I will honor their sacrifice freely given. I will guard honor of my followers, and both for of the deed I will have faith in them. When I doubt, I may face my enemies to surrender, but I am resemble for their lives. I will never refuse the challenge from an equal. I will give the honor to the worthy enemies and concept to the rest. I will suffer the death before dishonor. I will temper my actions and moderate my behavior. I will strive. Oh wow, thank you. I've learned everything I wanted to know. Whew! A lot of reading! Ah! Okay, if I said a friend, Johal is missing, do you know where we should go look for her? It's complete chaos. We're lucky here to handle it, right? Does the way I talk bother you? I know I seem a little brash. Many good people, protective, died, and this is meant to be no. But I prefer face my troubles with a smile, a bit more common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against us. I can underestimate a warrior spirit. It's better to hold on to grief until we've driven the last demon out of the sea. If we want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased every day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. There is wisdom in temptation of mourning, but one shouldn't reject them. All the more so if your inappropriate manner could be offered advice. So many people are loved and perished. No, I like this one. It can heal the soul. Fighting demons is all you want, or are you looking for something more? And anyway, more serious. How about covering myself in glory and becoming a hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen if they likely live? Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the world wound is the best place for the paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve the good. Being part of the crusade is a reward enough for me, but there are something that worries me. I don't want to sound like a criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other are forced on just a one aim and the war against the world group. That's why they sometimes overlook the small things. Okay. I always like being Wandering Knight, because any movement I could get to help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favourite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal. I'm happy to help who needs it, and a little here helps. I think you should. Wow. There's a lot of reading, baby. Let me get my info, baby. Oh, okay. Oh, this is okay. I hope clearly illuminates the difference between Jekka and Lumitarians from the last war, and the Crusaders' perfection from the spirit they were imbued with during the turned them into parts of the well-balanced war machine, not a rat-tag bunch of individuals. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by a reckless assault where everyone is fighting for their ego and the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Looks like we've got a student of warfare. Where were your words meant to be recognised by achievements or start a fight usually do. If those are joints of yours or whatever, I'd come for us. We had their guts. Never thought. Okay. I would love to see you in the storm, 60-foot tall walking castle like it. Okay. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. You should not agree with someone who happens to be a researcher or 3,000 years before. Okay. I am Irida, a warrior magist, a scholar, a crew of war grand. I admit that I am mildly offended by the fact that the name is unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept this due to you've come a long way to be here. I would like to think myself as an inhabitant of Goron, and I don't intend to identify me. Why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, that confliction between the denizens of the plane of famous love of violence and the Crusaders from united the goal of defending their home. An epic struggle between, but that hasn't been the epic so far, truth be told. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding along and takes a walk outside. Ugh. It looks like you... Oh, and I'm hearing things I did not some friendly knowledge of my art of warfare. Perhaps there is a secretly one-minded person along the Crusades after all. Why don't you join the Crusades and show them what fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian and a common and commercial woman who does not particularly in conflict in which their lives will be founded, and again I will hardly be able to describe anything other than feeble illnesses like... Okay. Of course, the large scale of thousands of friends. A large scale took place 1,000 years before the foundation of Al-Salam. It was a war against Orisian, the of plagues, the war that ended the legendary Jaka Imperium, and an epic struggle that became the most page military histories. Alas, that followed pale. Okay. Why do you find the last so inspiring? Imagine the legions of golems imbued with the spirits and marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monsters, birds of prey, to drop forces to the enemy castles. Gigantic, wow, and then very angry demons and devils, and standing on the warpath of walking and covering the ears and block. Okay. I can say without false mastery that there is no modesty, that there is no activist, a researcher on God of what comes the history warfare 1,000 years. And then before the foundation of Option, I decided that my whole life to this subject. Personally, I visited the old battlefields and studied the most marvelous of forbidden archives. Yep. Okay. You're wrong about the Crusades with such drain. Please, a debate. Oh, I'd be happy to prove that current hold candle of the war, Jack. Very well, the last show was waged using a significant greater number of troops, both sides, and revealed moments of allied plans. And their planning was perfectly with no fewer than none of them applies to the war of yours. Oh, I've got loads of diplomacy. I've got 18. This is easy. I passed that no problem. Oh, wow. Expand? But stone, kobolds, I would like to conclude my with a few words that are... Of course, I am not trying to diminish the importance of the current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, the history of warfare, the true ignorance of developments won't become oblivious until later. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeletal statements. History is complex and to be rooted in fact. Okay. Oh. Stay safe. Yay! Hopefully that's how much... Oh, Len! Goodness me, there's so much reading! Ah! I'd like to know more about you. Let me guess, your first question is, can you wear a hat with your horn? You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground. But your observation is quite correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while, and had a chance to learn a couple of things. Language, and the fact that every parent who sees my scary mug screams demon and runs away. Aww. I don't know if you're interested, but my mom wasn't from the underground tribe. She was a smuggler, and that kind used the dungeons to secretly move to the stores of goods. One time, two gangs couldn't agree on a share of prime cut into the fight, and the winners threw losers down a hole and dead living light. My dad went to check if the corpses had anything useful and on them, and he found a girl from the surface barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them, or maybe the girl just liked the man with scales and a cat nose. That might be. So one or the other, he got her back from her feet, and he later even left his home caves. She left her smuggling behind, and they begun an honest life together. That's a delightful story of how old Lerna came into the world. The next chapter, however, my family and I never stayed in one place for long. We lived sometimes on the surface, sometimes underground. We couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mum, and my dad's appearance raised question to so many in Medivh. There war between demons after all, and decided to stop making each other's miserable and separated. My father and I returned to our tribe, and I think the parents screaming demon had something to do with it. Or maybe Dad just couldn't stand life without a rat tail soup. I wouldn't possibly know. Aww. Did you come with me so you could see the surface again? No, it wasn't. It was just I had the certain types of creatures, demons. I mean, if you want to destroy crisis, I'll be on my side of people attacking. Then you're my companion, and my companions should trust each other. I'm counting on you to give me honest answers, not excuses. I assume you're right. I have been so elusive. It seems just that some things are hard to talk about. My family, for example. My birth, hell take me, turned out to be a great misfortune of my parents, all because I was relatively healthy. I'm the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling mongrel and one from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands, feet, and no appearance deformities, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so they risked having more children. They saw hope, so they risked having more children. They thought it would be somehow all right. I could have had 4 brothers. The first one, born 2 years later me, and died 3 years later. He didn't have a nose. Nothing even remotely resembled one. He could only breathe through his mouth, and Mum and Dad was afraid to take their eyes off him, for the fear he would choke and suffocate on something, but in the end it was weak heart that killed him. Then there was another and birth. I pretended that I was sleeping, but I snuck out of my bedroom and listened under the door. All those hours, it was very strange, but I never heard a newborn screaming, Mum moaning, mourning, yes. The priest praying, then dared to open the door to little and looked inside. The priest stood there very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object to fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" And the other said, "I think it's a head." If it hurts you too much. Hell no, I started to tell you. I'll make it up to the end. You want to know why I followed you to the surface? Here's the reason. It turned out that this time Mom was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces. The 2 others didn't live long enough to draw the first breath. About 3 weeks later, my father took me to the caves. He didn't want me to leave, I could see in his face. But I think my mom and him decided together. The curse my people have carried since the first crusade stood between them. Not to mention the 4 dead babies, and the old age was rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the cave, he only lived another 4 years. So you're asking me why I decided to go with you to the surface to join the crusades? Well, the answer is I've always wanted to. I'm afraid to leave my tribe, but I've always haunted me that I'd die with where 4 crusaders could do nothing to stop me. Beasts from the abyss, and number of victims kept growing. I want to change that, or at least try to. And if changing things too much, a little revenge. Those ones who are behind the world wound owe me a great debt. Those lives of 4 brothers, of all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. It's much that I'm killing a couple of demons won't do it for me. I want to do something real, and I'm ready to pay any price. Call it my personal crusade if you like. I'm used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born, but now I think I was born for this, to settle the score. Nice! I like this guy. Your parents' love didn't survive the hardship, but that doesn't mean that the same thing will happen to you. What happens if you find true love with someone who... Why didn't you join the... would you like to find your mother? Thanks for sharing with me. Thanks for listening. Oh, I can listen to the story again. No, thank you. Mongrels have a short lifespan, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you? I'm as old as I look. No surprise there. But remember Shoal. He's 10 years older than me. I remembered him back when he was a fearless warrior, and day by day I watched him turn into an old man. and my father. It happens very quickly. First, you miss a shot because you didn't see the target clearly, as you used to. You think because your eyes are tired, you tell yourself, I'd be better tomorrow. Then you notice that you're having trouble breathing, climbing harder. Your fingers stop bending. Oh, God, that's awful. You have to tie your sword to your hand. You can't even put... Sorry, I'm stretching. You can't even put... You can't even put on the grades without help. When you're washing your face in the stream, sometimes you catch a slight bit of greyed hair. Wrinkled old man you didn't recognize. And this goes on until one day you access the cave beast and you realize you can't overcome it. My dad kept Desires markings, all the signs. I saw it too. The last year I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. I told him that we should have stayed on the surface, and he joked and dodged. The goddess behavior was unworthy of a crusade, and he met. Oh. Every morning I wake up, I check how I feel, but there are no signs yet. Even so, I know I don't have much time. I need to do something useful, and I forget why I came. I want to talk about Wonderlag. Wonderlag? Are you sure? Alright. Were you just friends, or were you more than that? Wow, you really don't pull punches, do you? There was a time when I asked myself the same question. Myrna knew me better than anyone. She understood me better than anyone. She was my first woman, but we never loved each other. Maybe I should have grown to love her, but it was always seemed like she understood what love. She never understood what love was. Maybe she wasn't capable of those kind of feelings. My connection to her? You mean, where do I start? We grew up together, trained together. She was a chief's daughter. She was groomed to be the best all her life. And when I came along, we were rivals, but we dragged each other out in the spots. And I always been drawn to grand heroic gestures, sometimes idiotic ones, where Windu liked to roam and explore passages of new caves and making maps. She wanted to be a great huntress and the one who make it through the shield maze, but instead I bet her if she died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. She doesn't think that she's a shadow of her former self. Of course, she thinks she did everything right because she starts to doubt herself. She'll have to face the truth to admit that she is just a cannibal that demons use as they wish. She wants to get stronger, but what for? I never understand what drives her. Thanks for everything I wanted to know. So, can you wear... Sure I can, but certain designs can't suit me. Nice. I found everything out. I wanted to know, thank you. Tell me about your people. What do you think of life on the surface? It must be very... Okay, just tell me this one. Oh my dear goodness! No! Ah! Can't wait to get back to the combat a little bit. How long has this been going on for? Nearly an hour! Do you know a way to tell day and night. You can't see the sun in your caves. Do mongrels fight each other? Oh, Len gives you a brand smile. Imagine that the entire world is the only few hundred. There are not an inch of feeble ground anywhere, nowhere to grow, gain a beard or cotton. Your neighbours are beasts who want to eat you, or parasites who want to infect you with their larvae and then eat you. And that's not bad, because you can try and eat most things that are trying to eat you. Sometimes the risk is getting poisoned, with most no risk at all. In addition, the years are not a single living thing anywhere to be found. Producer or prey, that's when you eat mushroom soup, I'd say 3 times a day. Instead, there are no risks of losing a roof over your head. There are no bad weather, not counting earthquakes, of course. Are you really descendants of the First Crusade? More like demon spawns, aren't we? Sad but true. Without the demons, there would be no mongrels. It's the magic of the world wound that affected our ancestors. It made their children the way we are. Like most of their tribe, Chief Sol, fancies himself a descendant of the underground crusaders. The ones of our heroic ancestors left guard, and I don't know if it's true or not. Okay. The evil and dangers of times after the First Crusade, 100 Crusaders began having children, and the babies were born with fangs, horns, warts that covered half their face. People didn't like the new look. The Inquisitors sure didn't. So our ancestors fled prosecution and made a home for themselves down there, under the ground. They probably intended to find a cure for their children and hope to return in time, but never happened. Instead, the world wound legacy was passed down the generations. Mongrel parents can only guess what their child would look like. Each of us are born with new manifestation. Many are fatal. Down the caves, they usually don't concentrate on family, the birth of children, until the last turn 3 years. At least 3. Most don't even get a name before that. That's no point. Oh, why? The mongrel race is so sad. It hasn't been that long since the First Crusade. Why would you know so little about your ancestors? Our lives are much shorter. Yeah, that makes sense. Up to a few merry lives. Remember the old skeletons who stood in untouched demons, Queen Garify, for example. But where we live, mongrels are starting to get old. Easier. The humans are much faster and with more devastating consequences. Few more lives past 40, and fewer still live long enough to die old age. Hunger, disease, and the monsters coming from deep. Okay. Do you have a way to tell night and day? You can't see the sun in the caves. Every Mongol settlement has a big gong, which was a treat like a relic. The gong keeper hits it twice a day to mark the beginning and the end, but the custom doesn't keep time precisely. Every mongrel child has snuck up to the gong to strike it at the wrong time at least once, just out of pure mischief. Oh my god, could you imagine? Oh, it feels so good today. Oh, I can't wait to get to work. Gong. Oh, the end of the day, it's night time, but it's only been like 4 hours. Night time. Every Mongol child has snuck in. Yeah, nothing could keep me away from it. Even the fact that there only one ear, which means it would take double the punishment once I was caught. So So sometimes the wrong strikes get messed up in the right ones, and the tribe can find itself jumping up and creating the boarding in the middle of the night. Do they fight each other? There are skirmishes I've been forced to fight my kinfolk before or too. Fights most likely often break out over food. We have laws in the caves written unwritten rules that we follow. We respect one's right to live, but hunger, it can push one's edge. I've never, can you count on that, stolen someone else's kill. But I can understand those of my who tried. To hear your kids begging for food and not be able to feed them is terrifying. Yeah, indeed. You're a member of the Neville tribe to call your people mongrels. Why is that? Because of all the golden cells that... Because of all the Golradin cells that? I don't see the point of all this humming and hovering over what we've called. Anyone who finds us is offensive or take issue with it can lead to the charge against the name. No one's stopping them. But personally, I'm not going to pick a fight over something impolite as a name. Okay. Alright. What do you think of life on the surface? It'd be different from underground. Of course, as far as living conditions, surface is better place to be, easier to get food, water, mentioned the build of house, not even a few. You don't have to deal with anything scarier than rats or maybe foxes stealing chickens. Oh, as for the kind of lives you have, I heard stories about the demon worship adjusting a whole family and sacrificing them one by one with others watched. But there were some brave crusaders nearby and killed the vermin and saved everyone. I've heard other story. A young blacksmith lost his arm in the fire, couldn't work, and freed his wife and baby. They tried their best and they lived from hand to mouth, but they still destitute. I think that is. In the end, the destitute blacksmith robbed a traveller one night on the road. But there were some brave crusader knights nearby and they caught the robber and threw him in prison. Not long after that, his wife smothered their baby and hanged herself. Ooh! Up here, the same person personally... he's protecting an innocent from demons. They look over a poor quality green food proving back in the caves. Everyone is equally poor, and if anyone starves, the whole tribe starves. We don't abandon our own in times of trouble. That's the people power the tribe. The laws of the surface are made so that some may get everything and others. I might just be naive fool, but I don't understand how it's possible to shame so much less. Anyway, look who I'm talking to. You know life on the surface is much better than I do. Okay, let's see. I'd never leave a needy person in trouble. I've been given more than most, which means I'm now more happy to be able to help others. We're in a struggle for survival against the abyss. There is no up-end society or question fairness. Oh yes, I also have a few questions for our thing. Nah. This one for me. A fitting reply. Don't take my words as reproach. I gamble as much as jokes. You prepared to risk your life for something meaningful? What did you mean? To invert a new sealed and have it named after me. Aww. The truth be told, I don't know. It would be much easier if I really wanted to kill demons, and a few demons, then more demons after that. Good honest rage and no needless brooding. I think actually envy the warriors who can live like that. But I can't. It's taught me anything, it's that there are no easy choices. Dying glorious death isn't enough. Some heroes and crusaders did also an entire settlement. Their actions kept the lands of Medivh for safe decades. What I want for my dumb short life is meant to be something. Okay. You think I have an exception of myself? I have some scary freak claws and some caves that wants to take control of wardstones and flaunt as banner. Any fool can change the front lines of the demonic armies and die there, but what good will that do? I want something meaningful, you know. You have to pay the highest price, especially if I have to pay it. There are plenty of worthier people who need... Okay. Thank you for the answers. Alright then, let's see. Who else can I talk to? Okay. Noble survivors. Oh. Oh, okay, cool. Alright then.
Let's head out.
Okay, so we've talked to nearly everybody in the tavern. Oh wait, let's talk to this guy.
Let us be careful.
I'm just gonna go through this. Okay. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended to me. Besides, I come from the resident hardy people. Body will endure both. Oh. The basement. Oh. Surrender thy soul, Tavern. Haha, got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove 'em, tiefling. Ah. Whoa, easy there, chief. Don't help me.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
Okay, what's up?
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem. Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, Whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
Okay.
What a load of guff! If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
True.
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras. Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious. That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. Got that? Will you do it? I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
Nice. Okay. We'll talk later. Right, let's get... Oh, there was a map in there. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk to you. Wolfer is a petty thief from a gang of tieflings operating in Canasbrez, what call them in the parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended one of them, but the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere... We have, okay. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from Defender's Heart, but that's hardly a prison, for Waldo knows too. Okay. Sorry, I'm sorting something out. But that's hardly a prison. Waldorf knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him free, to have somebody vouch for him. He's already asked you to put a good word for it, hasn't he? If you want to recruit Waldorf, put to good use and go ahead and take him. The guards off our hands. We can afford ill to take the soldiers off. Yeah, exactly. We might as well. Thank you. Great woman you are. Let's do this. Right, and then we'll come on. To the basement! Walk faster! Alright then.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me? Ha! You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go.
Now we got a full party. Lovely. And what is Waldorf? Is he a rogue by chance? Always got some serious stealth skills. Always got some cantrips. Oh, he's a warlock? Was it? Is it like a rogue? Oh, okay. So I can see where everybody is. I should have probably done this at the start. Oh, there's loot near me.
Tread lightly.
Okay. How much more is more? My family is an interesting story, actually, but I don't tell it just to anyone. My father and mother had a bakery in their life. Was great. The gods are blessed and children. One day, my mother went to the river and washed some clothes, and the blanket floating downstream. Inside the blanket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand there was a note. Scribbled the existence of perfume, said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she taught me. Father realized right away I was a heaven saint. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed up in my baby blanket. It was the cost of arms, unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents, but it's not easy. Traveling takes money, so if you've got coins, I'll pay you back in my... That doesn't sound like a very believable story. Seriously? Usually everyone believes everything I say. People love the stories like that. You know, a cute little baby blanket, and yeah, I knew it was fake. Like, this guy's clearly a fibber, so can't take everything he says. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as I'm worth more than just because the sheets I split up might have been fancy cost of arms, and if it was a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here. I can tell you that much. I've already gone to take the rightful of mine, and then come back with an army so I could watch the guards. But that's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is a human. Both my father and my mother. They used to live in the village nearby, and I forgot the name. When my ma and me and my old man got so mad he almost killed her. What? Oh. Pinned her to the wall and started asking questions like, why is his son had horns and a tail? Well, that was Mama told him that her mother was grandmother used to be fool around with a demon. When she heard this, Daddy Dearest got drunk, thrashed the house, and then took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Candaris and left me with my grandma. She said to her, You and your demon have ruined my life, and now you handle him. And then she left. I haven't seen her and my dad since. She did leave a blanket though. A part was true. But my grandma burned it because it was infected with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think after all that my grandmother saw the light and rightfully ashamed and kissed my horns? I wish. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere. She got angry. Normal kids got bedtime stories. But only tales I got told were how my dad was worthless, my ma was a slut, and I was a demon spawn that no one who cared about. She only kept me around so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. I already was a tiefling, and life made me a thief. I've been in business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat, and she gave me an apprentice to Yorga, a tiefling neighbour of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off of someone's belt, to cut out open undated even some magic. I used to climb through the basement windows. Okay. I repaid my grandmother for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. I would feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money. If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too, and when I as much as hinted of leaving, he said I owe him my education. So I nodded and then joined the Owl Bears. The gang ran our district and told them Yaga was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owl Bears. Then their leader stayed me cold shoulder. I did the steal from him, but never that much. So I had to rat them to the guards and then joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time. Rich picks. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but not. Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Gold Hands would kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course. I told them. After only one option to join the Neverin, and the man and family came. At first, no one took them seriously, calling them thievelings and all that, and I felt right away that I had the power behind them. They had power behind them, and they had more money, and I'm always the winner's side, chief. That's why I joined the thievelings. And right on time, some thugs on the capital made them leave, and the ones who survived are in the family too. Thievelings. Alright, I won't tell you everything, mind. I can tell you a little bit about the Thievelings and Medallion and Thieves, the gang, and started good capital. Someone soon after they spent all the garrison, they also called a family, you know. Why? Because the Thievelings are always easy swap. Wherever we go, the guards always hassle us asking, are you lost or something, Hornhead? We usually say we're visiting family, and if they say, oh yeah, who? You give them the name of a local tiefling who confirms everything, and even she's never seen you before in his life. That's why we are all brothers and sisters. There are rules who does what, who gets what cut. I won't say a lot, but they make it worth your while. They even heal you if you take an arrow. But the biggest no-no is that you steal from the family. If you don't contribute to the shed part, you'll get cold shoulder and you won't be treated like family no more. And everyone will hear and visit some relatives who have a farm someplace. My best guess, the farm is some underground well beneath Garst, where the breed grave worms. If it's this the current new our boss, look the other often how able to spread wings. Good stealing from someone you call a sister? That's low. Nobody should live under constant threat of punishment. You could kill. Birds fly low before a storm. I'm starving as best I can. And the situation, Chief, you're 7 years old. You come home and your own grandmother and family is lying drunk there, and no food because she got wasted in the morning, didn't cook anything, and know that she was stashed under the third. You take the monies as you don't starve, and then when she wakes up, she beats you because she shouldn't have taken it, and you've stolen some food. You're a waste of space. That's something you can never understand, Chief. You can only care about the moral choice. You always know what's right and what's wrong. Brother, sister, in real life, they're just words. Oh. I used to be in such a hole that the Crusaders reference came in here and then things started looking up. Although it depends on who you ask, I suppose, which is steer clear, and because of Venom's followers and furious, especially the Harlan Shutpork and local Inquisitor. He's an old goat. I didn't see it myself, but servings of a girl in Tavern told me. Hello.
Just popping over to drop some cards off at.
Okay. Alright then. Okay. Take care. Alright. A cousin's takes a sword onto him and then prepare, and when she sleeps she puts it on the pillow next to him, and when he puts his cups and strokes a blade, the whispers sweetly, "The true friend, you can only have one," I reply. And giving us a hard time too, you such as look at a nice little burble and you be thinking before your fingers, and even twitch she coming for you. Yeah, okay. Do you, Demon Blood, do you feel like you're drawn to the abyss? Why are you an Inquisitor or something? What is it? Was it to you? Is it wrong to somehow? Or is it just don't take questions? I know it happens. I used to know a fella he met married to a sister guard. Shady types got drunk one night and started asking him suspicious questions about guarding. So he wakes up a hangover with a headache. Someone's mumbling something. It looks like smoke and his feet are kind of hot. He looks down and there's a fire under him. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, no dark magic found. Ta-da. It doesn't do anything, just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar shoved me and my old friend how to make an old shadow puppet. You put your fingers together and in front of the light and it makes a shadow deer on the wall. So I tried it and I wanted to make it the best shadow, and I did. It was just happened. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried stone later and screaming, calling me a demon. A tiefling always good whims, even those lowest of the better than me, just because he got horns or tail. The purpose of the grotto, he thinks better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again, and first time, I don't care if it's stress. It's a harmless illusion, but you shouldn't be doing it to anyone. People hate when you don't understand. It looks formidable. I like it. What about the blue fire? That's my favorite part. It doesn't burn at all. if I had to join every time I caught beating my little show, I'd probably closing a gallery. Ah. Okay. Alright. Alright then. Okay, so I think we've talked to everybody. And I think I'm going to call this like a little bonus episode where I go and talk to people in the tavern. So I'm just going to call this Tavern Talks. So you'll have the whole thing. And for people that aren't that interested, I'll probably skip it. But thank you very much for watching. And hopefully we get into combat. Catch you soon. Bye.